Hello and welcome to the Sports Tribune today on KIRN 670 AM and Southern California 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Joined by the crew, we got Grant Mona, we got John Browner, we got ELamb. It's Eric Lambkins, and listen, we have a lot to get into. I do want to get into for the World Cup just because that has been taken out on the majority of my life. It's been a dream of mine for as long as I can remember to cover the World Cup, and so the fact that it's in our backyard. Certainly here in Los Angeles, and I've had the ability to travel to Santa Clara in Seattle for the games. It's been amazing. I did want to get your thoughts just because I've been away from the show covering these games and traveling for it. Grant, I'll start with you. I mean, have you been following the World Cup?
As much as I can. I'm not going to say I'm following it to, some of my buddies are just like, man, I'm up at 10 a.m. I'm watching these things. Like, they're watching it. And again, the people that I know that watch the World Cup that closely, like, they watch these guys in their league play, their tournament play, and the EPL, across Europe, across Italy, across Spain. So they know all these players and everything. So, I have been trying to keep up, and obviously I'm learning the players and everything as I watch these games. But I will say, like, listen, Arash, you remember that Galaxy run that I was at, where I was at basically like every playoff game. I was at a lot of the home games in the regular season. That was when they won the title. And I found this like newfound, I guess, appreciation for the sport, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. And watching these matches as they happen, especially how many good ones we've had penalty kicks, we've had extra time, we've had goals in the last minute. I hate that offside is a thing, Arash. Sorry about Iran.
I feel you.
But we've been watching some excellent matches here in the World Cup. And it's just given me this new appreciation for the camaraderie. And I know ELamb mentioned this, I think, a few weeks ago when it first opened. Is like, you guys are such casuals because you don't understand like the camaraderie and the connection in the community. That has been the most awesome thing about this, is seeing everyone come together to root for their countries in the United States, in Mexico, in Canada, across North America, and just seeing all these different spots with these different people from different places in the world and us embracing them for the most part. I think that's the best thing. But also, the matches have been fantastic. Like I said, I have just found this appreciation for the sport because it's intriguing. I'm loving the fouls. If you compare it to a lot like football, like American football, if you compare it to basketball, there is basically like a free throw, a penalty kick, if you want to call it that. There's a guy guarding, so there's not a guy guarding the rim, but there's fouls. There is, offsides, just like you have in hockey. Like, I'm just, again, as someone that is a extreme casual at soccer/football, I have just loved it. I think it's really intriguing. And now, like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, I want to watch like the real, like the Premier League, and I want to watch the Champions League, and I want to watch, different kind of leagues now, because I've enjoyed the games that I've watched. I really have. And I didn't think I would say that before the tournament.
ELamb, we got a converter. So now we got to get Grant a Premier League team.
Yeah, exactly.
What's thoughts, ELamb?
Well, it's a little more daunting than just picking a league, because there's a handful of premier leagues around the world with some exceptional players. I still haven't figured out which team I'm going to support. I tend to just go with players. Lamine Yamal is my guy, so I've been pulling for Spain. If the United States doesn't make it, but you have Mbappe, you got Messi, you had Ronaldo, you had Vinny, who's still playing in Brazil. You have some marquee names in this World Cup, and it's you can't have this in your backyard and not have some affinity, have some attraction to watch it. It's not often that you have the World Cup in your city. It's not often. It wasn't until, I want to say, like 1992, 94, something like 94. That. The last time the World Cup was here. And I'm just a snot-nosed kid at that point in time. I'm thinking this happens all the time. Listen to me. This is a big deal. But you're watching. And that, my friend, is a victory that I will celebrate. Hey, maybe we can pick a team together, seeing as how we're so diametrically opposed in every other sport other than baseball, that we can collaborate and say, hey, I value this. Okay, this is going to be our team. and we'll make it a thing here on TST today.
Yeah, I'm a free agent, so I'm open to anything.
John, I don't think we have talked about your connection to soccer. Again, San Diego, obviously a big soccer town. There's a lot of soccer connections with Chicago. Chicago, by the way, one of the cities I do have to give them credit. They really push back on FIFA and FIFA's demands, and they're like, we're not putting. I don't know whether they wanted to put a roof. No, it wasn't a roof, but they had so many contingency plans for Soldier Field that they were like, no, we're good. Your connection to soccer. And have you been watching the World Cup?
Man, listen, I've been watching. Tonight, you almost lost me. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
What?
Between what I saw, I think it was South Korea and who did South Korea play?
Was out on floor. That's a whole other thing where they basically put that coach on blast. Like, I don't know if that coach can return to the country. So today we had a couple of penalty kicks. Germany got bounced by Paraguay on penalty kicks. And Morocco bounced off the Netherlands on penalty kicks. And Brazil very narrowly defeated Japan.
See, I don't know the World Cup exists until it comes up. And when it comes up, when it starts, like because this particular year, I think it was group play when Holland scored twice, Messi scored 3 times, and Mbappe scored twice. After that, I was locked in. I was charged up. And as it's gone, that trash South Korea game, and then this game tonight, where they just kicking it back and forth, not trying to score. I'm not into that, man. I'm not into that. It's been awesome. I've had a lot of fun. I'm hosting an event Wednesday here locally at a bar. So I'm trying to make some money off of it. Don't get me wrong, but outside of that, y'all almost lost me tonight, dog. I was watching this thing go back and forth. Like, what's going on, bro? People missing this big ass net, left, right, up, down. Come on, man. Y'all the best in the world. Y'all the best the world got to offer. That's a big net and a little man standing in front of it. We got to do better. Too many bars here.
I will say that this World Cup, and I was telling someone, like, this is a little bit like the 1992 Dream Team, where like you do have like the best of the best playing in it, and I don't know if it's the last.
Don't you do that,
Arash. No, but John, you have Lionel Messi, you have Cristiano Ronaldo, you have Kylian Mbappe, you do have the best of the best. Like when you look at the greatest goal scorers in World Cup history, like this is maybe all of them are last World Cup. So like when you said that you got kind of into it on that particular day when Mbappe scored a couple goals and Messi scored 2 goals and like Ronaldo scored a goal, like we're not going to really, we might not get that in 4 years. I mean, these are the goats of the sport and they're all playing this year. So that's all I'm saying.
If that's
when you get high level though, you can also look at like tactics. South Korea, they beat you with technical play. They're not overly fast. They're not super strong. They just, when you make a mistake, they take advantage of it. And that's what I love. Styles make fights, just like in boxing and the World Cup. Like, man, it's impossible not to like. Even with this Netherlands game, we just finished watching that. Like, the Netherlands were playing to get to PKs. They got to PKs and it didn't work in their favor, right? You got to play to win. Play to your strength. What got you to the World Cup would get you to this knockout round. You got to play that style. And when you deviate, man, the game of football has a way of making you pay.
Yeah, I'm just happy we've all enjoyed it.
No. And again, by the way, it's been great on social media because all these fans from around the world coming here, especially Scotland. Shout out to the fans in Scotland, the Tartan Army. They're having a good time. I definitely want to party with them at some point in time.
But don't you go around saying that 92 thing again in public, Arash. Somebody might get you. Don't do that again.
Can somebody give me context here? Why?
What? Huh?
Wait, what are you talking about?
So John, John,
92 Dream Team?
But you get what I'm saying. Like
Dream Team?
I'm saying like the 92 Dream Team was the last chance we got to see in the Olympics.
Oh,
Magic, Michael, Larry
but they're on the same
That's
team.
All I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the part about that I can't let you get away with that.
Okay.
That 92 Olympic run spawned the basketball we're watching today.
Yes.
So in 20 years, if in this country there are 25 players that are of the caliber of Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe, which I don't think there will be, then that would have bear fruit, and then we would all be eating off of that. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, here's where I push back on that, because it wasn't just about one country. Like, it wasn't just about spawning talent in Spain, which it did. Obviously, you got Pau Gasol and whatever. You got talent from around the world. I do think that there is a generation, potentially, and we'll see how this, we'll check back in 20 plus years, but like that are watching the World Cup. And at one point in time, you were watching the GOATs. You were watching, you're watching Lionel Messi, you're watching Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, like you're watching them all at the same time. And so, like, you might get a future Giannis or a future like Nikola Jokic or whatever, not just in the U.S., but like in the U.S., maybe Canada. Like, by the way, the Canadian story is an amazing story. I mean, that team, no one would have dreamed that Canadian soccer would be in the group of 16, But again, years ago, we couldn't have imagined, although, listen, Canadians have had good basketball players, but that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander would kind of come from that. So again, we'll see.
There's another element, not to make it too much about economics, but I don't know if it'll ever be that way here in America. In foreign countries, if you have talent, academies, they'll pick you up at 8 years old, 10 years old, and you just go to school and play football. In America, so much of like AYSO and the top soccer academies are
money.
It's money, and it's middle class, really, and it's American sports. You're really starting to see poor kids priced out of competitive sports, and I don't know necessarily if soccer if we'll ever have somebody of Messi's caliber unless they have dual citizenship elsewhere to where they can go to Nigeria or Germany or Mexico and actually compete in their academies and then opt to play for America. But until America really starts to recruit poor kids and say, hey, this is an avenue for you and your family to escape these conditions, I don't know if America will ever compete on a global stage.
Here's a question I don't have the answer to, but you guys appear to watch far more soccer than I do. Has the round of 32 really put this much juice into the tournament? Because it feels like from a non-soccer observant, whatever they did to this particular tournament has put a lot of life into it.
Yeah. No, I do think that it helps to have more countries involved. I do think that there's more excitement this year. The upsets are exciting, but I do think sort of like the reason that the Final Four, or at least the NCAA tournament's fun, is you got the upsets. But at the end of the day, to be honest, for the success of FIFA, you kind of do need the big dogs there in the semifinals and the final. Now, again, as much as I love Team USA, and I'll be up there in Santa Clara for their next game, like I don't know, if they can beat, for example, Spain or Argentina or one of those teams. But so the upsets are great, but you don't want to have like a ton of upsets where you have, no disrespect, where you have, I don't know, Morocco versus, I don't know. I'm gonna pick another. Well, no, USA would be great for America. USA would be great for America, but like two countries that are maybe like not in the top 6 or top 5 or whatever. But anyways, I do think the World Cup has lived up to the expectations some had. It has not been, a dud. I think there was a lot of people concerned about the ticket prices. The ticket prices are still high, but the atmosphere has been great. The crowds have been great. So. And again, to John's point, we'll see in 20 years what the impact was of a young child maybe going to one of these games in USA, Canada, and if that develops the next superstar in soccer. Switching gears to the NBA, the sport that we love the most. I mean, so many rumors, so many trade talk. I do want to bring this up when we talk about Kawhi, and I will write about this if this happens. Prior to game 6 of the World Series in Toronto, they had Joe Carter go up there, and he was talking. And I mean, what a hero he is, obviously, in Toronto. He had the walk-off home run, and you walk around Toronto, the amount of, like, I don't want to say murals, but they had like posters or pictures of Kawhi. Like, you walk around Toronto, and this was just last year. The way Kawhi is viewed in Toronto, like, he could have been Joe Carter. John can speak on this far better than I can. I don't think that meant anything to Kawhi, and I don't even know if it means anything now. But what it is, and again, I don't know what the ceiling is for Toronto if Kawhi goes back there. But like Kawhi is not on par with Joe Carter because Joe Carter really like leaned into the love of the Blue Jays and he stayed there and he's a part of the franchise. But like Kawhi could have had that where you're like not just a star in Toronto, you're like a hero in Canada. And by the way, he still is. And when I say that, like you walk around the airport, you walk around the city, they still got Kawhi jerseys and whatever because of what he meant. It's a long-winded way of saying, like, I just think this would be such like a win-win trade depending on what the package looks like. Again, Grant can talk about the package, what the deal potentially could look like. John can kind of speak to Kawhi's mindset here, but we'd love to get your guys' thoughts on a potential reunion here. Again, according to Shams, there have been talks between the Raptors and the Clippers about a potential trade for Kawhi.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no doubt about it that there's been discussion about Kawhi going to Toronto. I think what is being kind of misconstrued here from everyone that I've talked to is that this isn't the Clippers refusing to offer Kawhi Leonard a contract extension. That is not what this is about. The Clippers have or are offering Kawhi an extension. The problem is that it's not the max amount of money that he could probably get from a Toronto or, I know San Antonio has been floated out there. I don't think it's them. I honestly think it's just Toronto at this point. And the reason I say that is because they do have pieces that the Clippers do covet. The problem is Toronto doesn't want to part with those guys. So right now the offer is Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, and 1 first-round pick. Okay, you're thinking like, well, how does that really fit into like the Clippers? Like they're just taking back money anyways, and Brandon Ingram is not as good of a player as Kawhi Leonard. And 1 first-round pick, like, all right, yeah, it's a first-rounder, but you think they can't get more? So the Clippers are sitting here and they're haggling with the Raptors, and they're saying, listen, we want Colin Murray-Boyles. We want RJ Barrett. Like, we don't want Brandon Ingram with all the injury issues that he's had. And by the way, we want multiple first-round picks too. So I'm not saying that they want that whole package, but they want one of those 3 things to happen. And the Raptors, as of right now, as we're talking on the show, are not offering that. So the problem here is that we also have this issue of we have reporting on one side that is kind of leveraging the Raptors, right? And I'm hearing a lot of things from the Raptors side. Then you're hearing a lot of reporting from the Clippers side, leveraging what they want and their kind of side of it. And the problem here is that we're hearing so many conflicting reports that I think it's kind of ruining the conversation here, and it's leading both teams astray. So my thing here is that yes, there are I would go as to say advanced discussions. But there's still a hurdle here that both teams have to get over. And the Clippers, listen, they don't have to trade him. Now, they can give in to what Kawhi wants. And if Kawhi's camp is saying, we want to go now and we want to go to a place that gives us that 2-year, I think it's 2 years, $120 million, which would be his max extension. The Clippers, in my honest opinion, this is no knock on Kawhi Leonard. I know how awesome he is. I watched him all year last year and the year before. I think it's smart for the Clippers to hold off on that type of deal for a 35-year-old Kawhi Leonard. As good as Kawhi is, giving him $60 million a year when you kind of understand that you're not going to win a championship would be kind of stupid. So I think that's where the Clippers are at. Listen, they didn't give Paul George a contract. They said, you know what, go get it from Philly. For James Harden, they said, you want more money? We're not going to give it to you. We'll send you to Cleveland so you can give it. Okay, so the Clippers have done this multiple times over the past couple years to where they're in this era where they don't want to commit to anybody financially to get over that second apron, to get into luxury tax, all that stuff. So again, I know I've been talking for a while, but there's still a lot of moving parts here to where I don't think this deal is like at the, as people like to say, the 1-yard line. I think they're still trying to work over the compensation because the Clippers do believe that Kawhi Leonard, as a second-team All-NBA guy that played 65 games and had the best career offensive season that he's had, is worth more than what the Raptors are offering.
This is dumb. I don't want to make this any more, confusing than it already is. This is dumb. If they don't re-sign him, then what's this entire offseason been about? What was I was told by many people who follow the Clippers that they chose Keaton Wagler because he was the best fit with Darius Garland in that backcourt, and he fit the forward plans of what the Clippers wanted to do. If you trade Kawhi Leonard, you're gonna get pennies on a dollar back, and so now the team's worse, and you're gonna then do what? Because if I'm Toronto, I'm not giving you 3 years worth of picks. I'll probably give you 1 or 2. And at that point, we know next year's draft is an air ball, and then the one after that, for those 2 years, Toronto will probably be good enough that those picks won't convey for anything important. They'll just be bodies. So for the Clippers, if Kawhi wants the money, let's be very clear about this. He wants the money. He left Toronto and came to Los Angeles in his prime because he wanted to play in Los Angeles. He wanted to play closer to home. Mm-hmm. And for that, the Clippers handsomely rewarded him. They gave him everything he could have possibly asked for and some things off the books that he asked for. And so if you're the Clippers, to now not do this because of the $60 million, with who else you gonna give the money to? Is it important to still be competitive? Is it important for Ballmer to continue to sell tickets in that building to have it filled? If you trade him, then I want to know what was the rest of this offseason about. Because if it's about getting rid of him because you don't want to give him another $10 million, then what are you doing? I have a question, so many different questions.
I don't specifically think it's about money per se, because that arena is never full, right? I think if you look at what the Clippers have intended to do, I was there on draft night. Lawrence Frank conceded that, hey, our championship window is over. However, we want to contend and build towards another championship window. There's only one trade I think that's out there that exists that helps the Clippers open their championship window, and that's the trade with Boston for Jaylen Brown. Outside of that, there is no trade where you move Kawhi Leonard that anything makes sense. In Jaylen Brown, you get a defensive stalwart just as good as Kawhi Leonard is now.
In his prime.
Not at his prime, but you get an MVP caliber player in return that's in the prime of his career. That makes sense if you're the Clippers, especially if you're trying to build around Jaylen Brown, Darius Garland, and Keaton Wagler. That makes a little bit of sense. Outside of that, there is no trade anywhere else, especially because you gave up Ivica Zubac. You don't have a big man. So you sooner or later, you got to start filling in the ancillary pieces to round out the roster. But again, I think the money isn't the issue. Kawhi Leonard, I don't think if they find a trade partner, I won't be surprised if they extend Kawhi Leonard. But I do think the Aspiration investigation is playing some sort of variable in their decision making, because if Kawhi gets suspended for any length of time, let alone a season, what do you do, right? And I think it's in the Clippers' best interest to trade Kawhi to Boston in the event that he is suspended. You at least get something in return. You're able to recoup your losses. But trading him to Toronto just doesn't make any sense to me.
All right, let's leave it there for now, because you brought up some things that I would love to bring up. Jaylen Brown, his future with the Celtics, but also this investigation and the future of Kawhi. So I want to get to that with the group when we come back right here on KIRN 670 AM in California, 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. All right, we are back. There was a lot to unpack before we went to break. The crew brought up a lot of interesting factors. I am fascinated by what's going to happen with Kawhi and the Clippers, but I want to get Grant's thoughts on this, because, again, I think we all thought that after the NBA Finals, and, again, when you look at the history of the league, generally speaking, they've kind of waited at the end of the season. You know, when you look at the John Morant suspension, by the way, we could talk about that trade too at some point, but they don't want to overshadow the playoffs. They don't want to like overshadow the finals. So the finals came and went. The draft came and went. We're about to go to the NBA Summer League. I am shocked, Grant, that we don't have some verdict, and they are doing a disservice to the Clippers, obviously, and Kawhi. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how you trade for Kawhi if there's a chance that he gets suspended. I don't know how that happens. What have you heard? What is the latest? And are you surprised that this has taken so long?
I am very surprised. I mean, but I will say this. With these types of cases, I mean, you look at like the Robert Sarver kind of case that the Suns went through. It took them, I think, 11 months to get through that type of case. I know it's a different type of case. It involved the front office and doing stuff like that, but that one took 11 months. 11 months would be August, right? So that's in probably one of the lower tier cases of how quick it can be. And with this, listen, I understand there are billable hours for law firms. I do understand that, and they're probably dragging their feet a little bit on purpose. But I mean, I don't know what other evidence you may have. I know that Pablo Torre like laid out basically everything you would need to know. I know there still are things that you need to find out, and you need to interview, and you need to go through all these different processes. I understand that, but the Clippers, in all estimation, have been operating like nothing is going to happen to them. They aren't like trading away or like withholding picks or not signing players or not making decisions on players. They're not holding Kawhi. Like teams are reaching out to the Clippers for offers for Kawhi Leonard. And I would assume, if you are a smart front office from Detroit, San Antonio, Toronto, and whoever else may be out there, that you are asking as soon as you call the Clippers, hey, any update on the Aspiration situation? We don't want to be trading for a guy that's going to be suspended for a year. So I'm assuming that they have this knowledge that may not be public yet, that they're in the clear, that you could go ahead, like Kawhi will play next year. Not that they're in the clear, but that Kawhi will play next year. Because if you want to open up another can of worms, if you're the NBA, and get the players union involved, if he is suspended or if his contract's voided, that's another thing that they would probably want to avoid. Now, I'm not saying that he's clear of any wrongdoing. I'm just saying that's another can of worms that you would have to deal with if his contract is voided. So my thing here is that I honestly do think the Clippers are going to get some type of fine, maybe picks, maybe front office suspension. I'm not reporting anything here. I'm just going off based on assumption. I'm assuming, because anytime you get into a dealing like this, something is a little bit iffy. But in terms of the Kawhi thing, the fact that he's being shopped around kind of tells me that they're not really worried about him getting suspended, and the teams calling are not worried about his contract getting voided or him getting suspended. So, listen, I don't think anybody has an update. Anybody that says that they have an update on the situation doesn't. I will tell you that. This is extremely tight-lipped, and that law firm over there is dragging their feet for those billable hours. Please just drop the news. I think, and that's the thing too, I will say last, Clipper fans and Clippers media, we just want something. Just give us a verdict, please. I just want to move. I don't care what it is. Just let's get through here. Like, they have a free agency and an offseason to get through.
Yeah. Here's the thing about it is that at some point you have to have some sort of like a time limit. And I don't know if the league gave them that, but like you can't, for example, like you can't have this like drag into like the training camp and the regular season. So John, I mean, again, like what role, if you're a GM, I mean, I'm assuming you're calling the league saying, hey, like we're talking to the Clippers about Kawhi, but like, do we have any certainty that this guy is going to be available?
If the league as a whole, if they're not putting their thumb on the scale to figure out what the result is early, you're going to get the result whenever you get the result.
Yeah.
Because that way they can say, hey, we had nothing to do with it. We put it in the hands of these people to investigate it. Whenever they come back and say, that's what we're going to do. So I believe that whatever this is, it won't be substantial. It won't change anything how the Clippers operate. I don't think it'll scare anybody around the NBA to never do this again. And at that point, what was the whole point of all this? If this was really that egregious as Pablo Torre made this kind of feel like, if this was as messy and as gross and behind the scenes and such a violation of charters and bylaws, then you should cripple the Clippers financially to show the rest of the teams in the league, hey, man, we absolutely cannot have this. We can't. And so we're going to levy a fine so massive, he's going to have to sue us. But I don't think that's going to happen. So at the end of the day, Kawhi will probably get a couple of games because he can't go through unscathed because he took part in it. The Clippers as an organization will probably get a fine, which to Ballmer will be nothing, and it'll be paid. They'll probably lose a draft pick. And it'll go, and everybody will keep on going as if nothing happened. The NBA will get rid of this like they've done other things. And people will just move on. So hopefully you get a conclusion to this, but I don't think you will anytime soon as much as people would like, because the NBA is completely hands off on this, and it's the right thing to do.
I mean, this wouldn't be the first time that the NBA had to make a decision that was at the behest of the league. Patrick Ewing in the frozen draft folder. You look at the Tim Donaghy scandal, Allen Iverson and the referees retaliating against him. Like, the league can and will do things. The league can and will do things that are in their best interest. And if you think that the Kawhi Leonard aspiration deal is the first of its kind, then I have beachfront property on 103rd and Great to sell you, because I'm telling you right now, I know firsthand. I won't say how I know, but I know firsthand a lot of benefits that marquee players get. And the league cannot have this blow up in their face to where Kawhi Leonard and a team that is trying to find its way out of purgatory in the Clippers. No, I'm not shooting at you, Grant, but the Clippers have been in purgatory specifically after their whole ownership debacle. And they've been trying, to make themselves more competitive, more appealing, not only as a brand, but to free agents as well. And so for them to be able to attract and land Kawhi Leonard as a free agent, I think kind of turn the tide of the fortunes of the franchise. But you cannot have this blow up to where it completely undermines and decimates the Clippers. They just built a new stadium, a new arena in Inglewood, where Steve Ballmer put up, paid a pretty penny. Like, yes, there will be some penalty that Kawhi has to pay, that the Clippers have to pay. I don't think it's going to be a death knell, but I do think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. In all honesty, I think July 1st, July 2nd is when we'll hear something. Anything that goes past that, that's when I start to get worried as a reporter, because if Pablo Torre has already reported everything, you have access to that and more. Yeah. And if you're not going to come down with a hammer, then what are you waiting for? I think anything after July 2nd, that's when I, Eric Lambkins II, start to get worried. If I'm a Clipper fan, if I'm in the organization, and then if I'm part of like Kawhi Leonard's camp, something's getting ready to drop.
If they kneecap the Clippers, there's gonna be some snitching coming out.
Oh, very much so.
They're not the only ones. And if you finna try to take us out at the knees, watch how all these other stories start coming out. How all these other publications all of a sudden start publishing these things that, the Orlando Magic did this, or the Knicks did this, or like, because it's the Lakers, the Warriors, it's existent, because once you get these really high level guys, to obtain them and to keep them happy, you have to afford them some luxuries that are not on paper. That's just how the business goes. And this, unfortunately, got on paper, and that's how we got here.
By the way, someone texted me, because I had asked about a couple of other big stories in sports, and they said, circle the date, Friday, July 3rd. That's going to be the ultimate news dump of news dumps, because normally it's Friday. normally is before a holiday. Friday, July 3rd. We'll see. Something could happen. Something might not happen. When you talk about a news dump, 5 p.m. Friday, July 3rd.
Wow, he gave a time too.
Well, but basically, like at that point,
wow,
everybody's checked out.
Like you're not going to be talking about it the next day on First Take or talk shows. Like it's
PTI.
Like PTI. So we'll see. I mean, things can come and go. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, but I want to begin with John Browner because I think he's going to have something interesting. So there's talk of another super team, although this sounds like a super team from maybe 2019. That Steph Curry, Draymond want to team up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and Browner's already smiling. Listen, I love big names more than anyone. You will always get me with that. I would admit that if this was the Lakers and that team was coming to the Lakers, I would be planning my championship parade. Even though, see, but I know that about myself. Even though that team seems destined to get maybe swept out in the first or second round. Brad, your thoughts on a super team of sorts in San Francisco?
As a fan of basketball, I would be utterly delighted by this. This would tickle me in ways. I would be on cloud nine as a fan of basketball. I think the NBA as a whole would be on cloud nine because you would now have to step back from a 5,000 feet and just look at the NBA. The Knicks just won the championship. They're going to defend their title. The two greatest players of the generation are now teaming up to go against Wemby, to go against the young stars in OKC, to go against whatever they're doing in Portland, to go against whatever's happening in Denver, to go LeBron going back to LA, the whole Lucas. This would create so many ripple storylines that you could write about the NBA for weeks and still have meat on the bone. I hope that I really do hope this happens because I would love to see LeBron James and Steph Curry on offense together. Like, I don't care who you are as a basketball fan. Even at LeBron's elevated age, he can still find ways to get Curry the ball. Those two brains together with Draymond Green and Anthony Davis on defense, I think as much as it sounds like, hey, these guys are so old, I can promise you this. No one would want to play them in a playoff series. No one. Now, if they make it out to play-in, if they get in the play-in, they're cooked. But if you got to beat them in a series, oh, no. You don't want to play that experience. No way. You don't fall right there. Don't fall on the screen. No, bro.
Well, three and maybe one if he's on the floor.
Nah, fam, don't do AD like that. If you put these four players together, I'm telling you, if they get in a playoff series, let's say they get the 6th seed, so they missed the play-in, they will win the title.
What?
I'm telling you.
Oh, Browner, you are shocking me right now.
Listen, I know
he's not a crazy man. He's not a crazy man.
I know this sounds I know this sounds insane, but if you put LeBron has enough in the tank, you can watch him play. He's got enough in the tank. AD been off for a year. The second they make this trade, AD gonna get in shape. Steph Curry's never out of shape, and Draymond Green is the mental switch. He's the mental equivalent of LeBron on defense. And you finna put all that on one team. So you're finna put the smartest guy in the NBA, LeBron, on the team with the smartest defensive player in the league. AD, one of the best defensive players of the generation and the greatest shooter of all time. Get that in the playoff series. You tell me somebody going to beat that 4 times. No, yes. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't.
What's crazy is the same source that I have that told me LeBron was coming to Los Angeles sent me the following theme song. Thank you for being a friend. And I was like, Golden Girls? And he just sends me a smiley face. And I said, really? So I'm not going to be shocked if LeBron James ends up in Golden State. You can call them the Golden Girl Warriors right now, because just like John said, you pair LeBron with Steph, like, good luck. That's just LeBron and Steph. You factor in Anthony Davis, who will not have to play center because Draymond will willingly do that, and you allow Anthony Davis to just roam and patrol that back end on the defense, he doesn't have to worry about banging with the big body down low. Good luck. Good luck. I agree. If those, and there's a reason why Draymond Green opted out in free agency. It is to clear up money to make it more appealing. And guess what? That's not the only play that Golden State has, in their arsenal. There's another blockbuster name that they have circled to attract there. I'm saying with like 70% confidence, LeBron James is going to Golden State. He's going to the Bay Area.
And another thing is that it's a 1 hour flight up there, maybe 1 hour 10, maybe less if he leaves after a game. Like, yeah, you can go back home. It's all right. Yeah, just go back to LA. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah. He wants $1 billion. The flight plan's not the issue.
Right. Yeah. Like he can still live here and go back up there without a problem.
He ain't got to move his family. He ain't got his kids can keep going. Nothing in LeBron's life will change. He would just be an hour to 45 minutes late to everything. That's it.
And that's all right.
That's literally it.
That's all right.
And when you're the person they're meeting for, whenever he shows up, now the meeting starts. So I cannot believe that people don't believe in this. It makes me really question people who see this, and you see there's no reason for LeBron not to have met with the Lakers. It's not that the Lakers aren't trying to meet with him. Mm-hmm. He hasn't chosen a time and a space to meet with them. There's a reason Draymond Green asked out of this. There's a reason why there's smoke around AD. Why in the hell would Washington trade for him? And then now all of a sudden, now it's iffy? None of this makes sense unless it all makes sense. These things don't line up unless they line up. And so I think if you put this together, this team will be on television more times than there could even possibly. If you could put a team on TV for 82 games, this will be the only team.
They don't need a national team. They don't need a local broadcast. They don't need a local broadcast team.
But John, the reason there is skepticism beyond the age and some of the history issues with AD is that these super teams, and again, listen, they worked when it was the Celtics. They worked for 2 titles with the Heat, but they haven't always worked. So, Grant, I want you to jump in here.
When didn't they work?
Well, listen, there's been a lot of examples.
The Lakers in 2022 when they tried to assemble the old Unction Avengers when they had like Russell Westbrook and AD.
Brooklyn Nets when they did the
Brooklyn Nets with the big 3, which
by the way, there's the other one with KD and Kyrie
and Phoenix when they tried to do the Beal, Booker, KD.
No. See, this is what happened.
The quagmire in that is Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal doesn't.
He was an All NBA player before they traded him. He was an All-Star. Okay, fine.
You see, now this is what happens when people they water it down, and so now they got to start bumping people up to make sure that this looks
Bradley
like this was a super
before he got traded.
At one point, every team had a quote unquote big 3.
Yeah,
you don't remember this part of the NBA? The Bulls had a big 3. Yeah. The Bucks had a big 3. Detroit had a big 3 when they had no All-Stars. So there are only a few real superstars in the NBA, and by superstar I mean it doesn't matter what team they go to. That team's a contender. There's no reason to be talking about the Lakers for a decade or 5 years if it wasn't for LeBron. There would be no reason to talk about the Warriors if it wasn't for Steph Curry.
Sure.
You're gonna put those 2 people on a team. Come on, man. Come on
now. Like at this point in their careers, though.
I don't
care.
It doesn't matter. It does
matter. It matters a lot, actually.
How?
Can we go to? Do you guys care about availability? Like a player being on the floor. John, didn't you say
outside of Anthony Davis, who are you worried about?
Steph Curry missed 30 games this season due to right knee inflammation. And LeBron missed the first quarter of the season.
Where did he end it?
Huh? Getting swept.
Where did he end the season? Playing on the court.
And Steph Curry ended it limping, trying to will his team that had no depth, which this team is not going to have any depth again, by the way. And depth wins titles in this modern era. Look at the teams that have won titles. Look at the teams that have won titles.
Why wouldn't they have depth?
You name their bench. I want you guys to name their bench with these players, without Moses Moody and without Jimmy Butler, because they're going to have to send them away.
Grant, look at these 4 players. Who ain't going to want to go play for this? Who not going to want to join this?
On what type of deal? You guys act like this is MLB where you can just go up to whatever money you want ever.
Grant, you're not.
You give him a
let me try. Let me try.
Oh yeah, everyone, come on in for 1 million, 3 million, 5 million. Go ahead. And then you have a bunch of bums on the bench for 5 million.
If you're gonna make a run at this, every guy who gets bought out will go to Golden State. Every guy that has the opportunity of making the decision about going on the league minimum, do I want to go to Golden State or do I want to go to Milwaukee? Do I want to go to Golden State? Do I want to go to Denver? You're going to Golden State for the mid-level, just simply or the vet minimum, because of those 4 people on the screen. You can find a bench because of those 4, the gravity of those 4 players. And what they would be able to do will 100%, just by the gravity of it, you will scoop guys up who you didn't even know had any idea of going to Golden State. But to run with that level of greatness, that's a championship right there. It's a 1-year setup. Hey, man, everybody come in. Let's do this.
John,
it's not a far-fetched idea of a superstar leaving money on the table. We just saw Jaylen Brunson take less so other players can. LeBron James has made $1 billion.
I don't mind the money.
Green,
I'm not talking about the money.
It's exactly. It's not a money thing at this point.
With LeBron, the Warriors
Draymond, I would not be surprised if Draymond Green got a thigh tattoo of LeBron James's face. That's how much he loves this dude.
Same.
LeBron loves Steph Curry. He wants to play before his career is over playing with Steph. The synergy that they built during the Olympics, it was palpable. Like,
I'm not denying that.
Seen Draymond.
Sounds like you are.
We've already seen Draymond recruit a marquee player, and it worked the first year. Like, this isn't a far-fetched idea. It's not.
Yeah, listen.
Do you guys want me to go through everything that it would take for the Warriors to just get LeBron at 15 million?
Go ahead.
They would have to swap Jimmy Butler and picks for Anthony Davis, which why in the HELL would the Wizards do that?
It's the Wizards.
Then they could fit LeBron with a $15 million non-taxpayer mid-level under the first apron hard cap if Draymond Green takes the same contract that they just signed Kristaps Porzingis to, by the way. And if they find a taker for Moses Moody, who just ruptured his patellar tendon and will not be playing this whole season and may not even play until the beginning of the year after that.
John,
that is just to get LeBron on the team, just to fit him in that, regardless of the other moves that they would have to make.
Listen, by the way, I am so excited about this potentially happening. Because I love super teams. I admitted that. But the drama that this would cause, and it would give us this like I think everyone would be either rooting for this team or against this team, but there's no in between. But we're going to leave it there for now. If you're watching us on X, we're going to have a hell of a post show. I can already tell it's going to be a great post show because
I'm going to cuss Michael out.
That's right, exactly. All right, so we'll talk about that. But that is all the time we have for today. Until then, this is Arash Markazi and the crew saying stay safe and stay healthy. All right. Hold up. Let me start with this, and I want to get your guys' thoughts.
I didn't see the text. Did somebody send something? What's going on?
Yeah, Michael
say something. Can Michael help?
This is for Michael. I'm going to read it off. He said, y'all tripping. The Warriors team will not be a great regular season team. Too many old and oft-injured guys. Grant knows ball. And ELamb said,
Michael, Grant does know ball. So we're going to take that chunk. We're going to put that to the side because I'm not going to disrespect my dog like that.
My God.
Bro, you got to be smoking though. Ooh-wee. If you think this is built for the regular season, my boy,
it's probably the opposite.
It's strictly a postseason move. It's strictly a postseason move.
What the hell you talking about the regular season for? What's wrong with you? You just jealous. Get that jealousy out your heart, young man. You're too healthy to be walking around. Listen. This will get you cancer, son. Get that hate out your heart.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Michael is not a good judge of character. This dude out here getting fished through text messages and end up losing his Twitter account because he clicking links
right.
from random people. Listen, Michael is not a good judge of authority. All right, he makes some questionable decisions.
Michael, hold on, bro. What you mean? You got caught in the fishing expedition? They got you off a link? What, you 75 years old?
Yo, John, somebody replied, "Hi, I'm Spencer." He's one of my followers. He follows all the Clippers stuff. He said, "Bruh, thigh tattoo with 3 laughing." He said, "You said Draymond's got a LeBron thigh tattoo."
Bro, listen, man. I understand that there will be some naysayers about this, and it will only be because of their age. And that's a rightful concern. But if you think that they don't know that, if you think, by the way, Steve Kerr, who came back for this shit, will do whatever is necessary health-wise to make sure standing-wise they're okay, and physically and mentally they are okay. The owner has shown you time and time again, he will pay whatever the fuck the cost is if the championship's at the end of the road. Whether you win it or not, getting there to him, Joe Lacob will cut the check. He might interrupt you during the draft process, but he will cut the check. So to me, there is no obstacle. However many picks the Wizards want for Steph Curry, they will go, yeah, man, let's take it. Just give us AD. We don't care. If you take Jimmy Butler's contract, you give us AD, you can take all these nasty-ass picks. They ain't going to be no way. So to me, I think this is going to happen because, again, nothing around it makes sense at all. And the fact that Draymond and the clutch portion of this, and clutch maneuvers. Draymond, yes. Clutch client. LeBron, owner of clutch. Talk about backdoor things. AD, member of clutch. If you don't think that this is going to line up and Draymond's going to take way, because remember, the contract Draymond's on now is less money. He took less money to continue to build the team. Yes. So of the people who will take less, Draymond has done it before. Now, how much less will be a question that he's going to be one of those, hey, man, damn, they gave Draymond $40 million. How he 39? Then you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? But as of right now, bro, the only thing standing in the way of this happening is the Wizards. Okay?
Yeah,
that's it.
I'd say so.
And all you got to do is dangle. All you got to do is dangle some first-round picks in front of their face, and they jumping.
Bro, they hit that link
you dangle Jimmy Butler. You dangle Jimmy Butler and 2 firsts, or 2 firsts and 2 pick swaps. It's done.
By the way, they have 3 tradable firsts. They have 7 in total. They have 3 tradable firsts, 3 second-round picks to trade right now. The Warriors.
Take them.
Just want to let you know.
Take them.
Also,
you get that 5th title?
So here's the thing. I understand. I will say this: like, as much as I don't think that this team would win a title. My point here is that I don't think that a team with no depth on the bench, especially at their age, like if they were in their primes or maybe like 4 years ago, I could understand not going through a playoff run without depth. But last thing I will say, John, I understand it if I'm the Warriors, because if you're the Warriors and you don't want to transition to that next era. You don't want to move off of Steph Curry, obviously. You don't want to move off of Draymond Green, obviously. Steph Curry, when he's healthy, is still unbelievable.
Lethal.
So you're not going to transition you're not going to rebuild. So why not just maximize whatever years these guys have left?
Correct.
1, 2, just go for it at least. Like, it may not work, but hey, what are your other options? Just run it back with Brandon Podjemski and Moody and Porzingis and Al Horford. Like, come on.
And I'm thinking about this, like, real quick, John. You got to think about it. Of those 4, 3 of them only plan on playing 2, maybe 3 more years.
Yeah,
sure.
So what a perfect way to send Draymond, Steph, and LeBron all out together.
Now, Grant, you keep saying bench, yes. role player. Let's do a little, but they just won the championship. You don't mean to tell me that around the league, LeBron can't call somebody that can do what Landry Shamet did for the Knicks in the postseason?
Kentavious Caldwell-Pope?
You mean to tell me that LeBron and Clutch can't find somebody to do what Miles McBride did during the playoff run for the Knicks? You mean to tell me that LeBron and Clutch can't find somebody to do what Mitchell Robinson did for the Knicks.
Mitchell Robinson.
Andre Drummond.
So now Andre Drummond will crawl to Golden State.
Well, I think their centers are set because they have Porzingis, and I think they're going to re-sign Horford too. So like I think yeah, right. So I think they're fine with centers.
So but my point being this. Your question is who's on the bench? Who are the role players? And I just gave you some guys who at the time the Knicks got them, bargain basement. Jose Alvarado, bargain basement. Those guys played massive roles to win the Knicks a championship. And I'm telling you, from those 4 guys on the screen, they can find 4 guys who can equally the equivalent of the 4 guys I just named on vet minimums.
Okay.
The closest comparison, and I think people will make this, is the Kobe, Shaq, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. And everyone said, well, listen, they can probably fill that out. And what you did have is guys who wanted to be a part of that in Horace Grant and Rick Fox. And what happened was, and by the way, I am not one of, that was my first year covering the league, and it was a blast because that team was a lot of fun to cover. And obviously Kobe was going through his shit. But what happened was, the reason I don't think that the team's a total failure, I know they were championship or bust, but it wasn't a team that got bounced in the first or second round. They lost in the finals.
The title game.
In the finals, yeah. And so I do think that this team could have success. They could get to, like, what I do wonder is you're going to deal with, and these teams aren't like young and like inexperienced. I think the Spurs, as bad as the finals was in terms of the result, they learned from that. The Thunder, they've won a championship. So you're going to get this like golder team. And I'm just telling you, and Grant brought it up, and I know we don't want to think about it now. The idea that all 4 of these guys and whoever else that they bring in, and again, what they're going to bring in is their friends. That's what happened with the Lakers that year.
Yes.
They brought in Horace Grant and Rick Fox. Those guys like literally were not healthy by the time the playoffs came around. Just shit happens. You're fucking old. Like I want to play, but I can't. Like, I don't think it's realistic when that team is put together, and I do agree with John, they'll find 4 names, and we're going to look at this team on paper, and there's going to be meetings like, who is beating this team? Shit's going to happen, guys. Like, and again, like KD, and I'm not just saying that because like KD's hurt, but like, well, LeBron's going to miss a few games. Steph's going to miss, like, life's going to happen, and what's going to happen is that they're not going to be a top. So maybe, listen, the best case scenario, like John said, maybe they're the 6th seed and they're not in that playing game. But what if they are in the playing game?
Then they're in trouble.
Okay, so I'm just saying, like, they're in a tough spot because of the age, and at some point, and I hope it doesn't happen. But LeBron, like, this is not realistic to expect LeBron to play like this until he's like 46 years old. Like, at some point, it's
Arash.
He's not going to play like LeBron James.
It's crazy because it's not like LeBron James is shooting a ton of mid-range. He's getting to the rim.
That's what I'm saying.
He's shooting 52% because it's all layups.
Arash, let me ask you, because you were there. I'm so glad you were there to cover that team.
Yeah.
I think as people say that team lost, we're missing the elephant in the room of the fact that they imploded in the finals.
They did.
This is the same team where Karl Malone was trying to bang Kobe's wife. Like, there was a lot of shit
going
just made
on. A comment that she took the wrong way, and that was the end of that. But yeah,
listen, if you look at Karl Malone's track record, it wasn't no comment he just said. Okay, she took the wrong way. Okay, every pass from Karl Malone is an attempt at an assist, if you know what I mean. So, what I'm saying is, that team literally imploded from within.
They did.
They could have beat the Pistons if Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal were going to pass to each other.
Well, Karl Malone gets hurt after game 2. I just think that they did not. That Pistons team after that Rasheed Wallace trade they just gelled at the right time. They were better defensive.
They did what the Knicks did.
I mean, the thing that I always wonder covering that team, and I didn't travel, so that was back when it was 2-3-2, and it was 1-1 going to Detroit. I'm like, there's no way they're losing 3 fucking straight games. Like, not only did they lose 3 straight, they got the shit beat out of them 3 straight games. And so, like, it never got back. And so that's why I at least said, to be honest, it wasn't, like, that close. Now, they hated each other at the end. That was the end of Shaq and Kobe. Like, that team, Like that was it. Karl Malone retired after that. Like they traded so you're 100% right on that. I don't think this team's going to implode like that. But
that team started the year with Shaquille O'Neal yelling at Dr. Jerry Buss, the late great Dr. Buss, pay me my fucking money.
That's right.
And hold on, like I hate when people compare like these failed super teams to the 04 Lakers because
I agree.
The 04 Lakers were 56-26, which is incredible.
They had two injuries and were 56.
They had two All-NBA first-team players. Yeah. They were 30-9 when all four of those Hall of Famers played together.
There we go. Yeah.
And they started 20-5 before Karl Malone's injury. That was
so why the fuck
awesome
you think this
team.
shit won't work?
Well, listen.
It's a championship or bust. I think that this team could get to the conference finals, but I don't necessarily.
Because John, what have we seen from all of these? Like the Knicks were a youngish team. The Thunder were extremely young. You go like the Denver Nuggets were a young team. It's teams that are younger win titles in this modern era. Since 2020. They just do.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Like the last three champions are young. That's why I'm saying that.
Right, because this didn't exist. They won because this was not a thing. Now, this becomes a thing. And again, now you're dealing with the smartest group of players that I believe you've ever put together. So the knowledge of that and shoot-arounds and angles on the defensive end, back picks, cuts here, what play works here, what play doesn't work here, just the intelligence level of what these guys can bring to the table will dwarf any talent that these young teams have running around. And now you're going to put that in a playoff situation when you had guys on the Spurs who had never even been in that situation. When LeBron's been in that situation longer than some guys had careers. Steph's been in those situations longer than some of these guys have had careers. So I look at that and I just hope. I think I want it because hope. I want to hold on to hope that I get to see this last hurrah of this generation's greatest players. And if I get that, I'll just be happy.
It'll be awesome to watch. No doubt about it.
That would be one of the most fun teams to cover. And I just go to covering that team. They were not a good team, but like Kobe's last year is just like those guys like know that they're not going to get that moment from I think the reason that LeBron always did his media in front of his locker is that he just enjoyed that environment. Because listen, you're not going to get that. And then Kobe in his last year, as dog shit as the Lakers were as a team, that was the best Kobe to cover because he just talked about life. He talked about AAU basketball. He predicted the best players for the next few years. They're not going to be from the U.S. I go back to that time and be the games weren't fun, but just those conversations. So imagine being a beat writer and talking to Steph and Draymond and LeBron and AD. And to John's point, they're going to get some guys who are you know what? I think we could win a chip, but this will just be fun for a year. Give me that minimum, and I'll be the sixth man off the bench. They are going to get some names. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean,
So do we all just believe that this is going to happen?
I think it's more likely than not.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's crazy because Arash or everyone, I'll ask everyone, would you have said the same thing maybe a week ago?
You know what? Yes. When we were talking, and I think John had brought it up. I think John, correct me. I think you always thought the Warriors were in play. Not
the Warriors were a viable option, but I don't think it was as high as it is now.
I don't see a future with LeBron, and this is not because I'm part of the anti-LeBron establishment. I just with the direction that the Lakers are heading, being Luka centric, them bringing back Austin Reeves because he and Luka really are best buds. LeBron doesn't have a role. I'm not going to say he doesn't have a role. He doesn't have a future here in Los Angeles. Point. It doesn't make sense for him to come back when he can go elsewhere, have a more prominent role, play with somebody he really admires and wants to, and his boy is there. Can
I just say,
potentially AD's there too? It makes too much sense.
That's such a great point, because here's the thing. Steph's done this before when KD came. Steph does not have an issue. What LeBron's going to enjoy is with the Lakers, there is a hierarchy, and they really put it in LeBron's face to the point that this was the disrespect LeBron felt. And again, we could say it's childish or whatever. They really put it in his face that you're not only second, you're third. I think with the Warriors, you're going to have
don't underestimate that, by the way.
No, what John, you're 100%. And again, we didn't see that publicly. And like ELamb, I think you remember this at the press conference. He said, I'm not used to that. And I was asked to do that. And it was the first time that he publicly said, like, yeah, like I'm the third guy. And during the playoffs, when these two guys were out, like I had to be the guy. That was a weird adjustment for me. With the Warriors, with the relationship that LeBron has with Steph and Draymond, like that's not going to exist. It's going to be a very much, we're in this together, clutch, even though Steph's not a part of clutch. Like there's not, like there is a hierarchy. And I do think LeBron, now the more I'm talking about this guy, I don't think he's coming back to Los Angeles because like there is like, he is third. And like, does he want to come back to a team where like, I don't think they can win a championship. I don't think this is a championship team, right? And like, you're the third guy on the team. At least with this guy, he's gonna have fun. He loves his wine. He loves the Napa Valley. Like it's a 1 hour flight, private. By the way, he's not fucking flying Southwest. Like no. So like
his plane might be the size of a Southwest plane.
Exactly, right?
So
he's. I think this is gonna happen. And to John's point, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm with Grant. I think it's a good team. I think they get to the conference finals. I don't think they're a championship team, but hey, this will be a fun ride regardless.
And also, I look at actions over just speaking. And, like, Draymond opting out is not nothing. Like, if he were to opt in, fine. And these guys make a great point. When he did that, it signaled to me more that, okay, we're fully in on this. It's not just a rumor by Shams. It's not just, a hearsay by a local reporter. And also, I know I just said that you don't listen to words, but there are too many rumors about it right now, about the Lakers going after guys that fit around Luka Doncic, Jalen Duren, Walker Kessler, Dean Wade, Jock Landale. Like these are guys that are catered towards Luka and Austin Reeves.
But as an organization, this is what the Lakers should be doing. It's time for the future. It's time for the Lakers to go forward with something else. The day Luka got to the Lakers franchise was the last day LeBron had control of that franchise.
I agree.
And that it's the natural progression of sports. He did it to somebody, now somebody's doing it to him. The best thing that could happen for all parties is they treat LeBron with respect on his way out the door. That doesn't get ugly, which with the potential of clutch and how petty LeBron is, it can. Hopefully it doesn't. He gets to go to Golden State. They have a press conference with him, AD, Draymond, and Steph, and it doesn't turn into not one, not two, not three, but it's a culmination. It's the bookend of a great career for everybody on that stage, and you go on from there. This is the retirement tour. This is the Beatles. And this is it for us. Come see us while you can, because we finna do the best we can, as healthy as we can. And when this is over, it's over for me. It's over for him. It's over for Coach Kerr. And y'all can have the NBA. San Antonio can have it. Oklahoma City can have it. Miami can. The Lakers can have it. The Kings, the Clippers, y'all can have it. We done after this.
Let's not get crazy.
I think you guys aren't paying enough attention to it being the last hurrah. Like MJ, Scotty, and Dennis had, the last dance, right? Like literally, you have 3 people who are going to the Hall of Fame on their first ballot.
Yes.
Unequivocally, right? No one thinks that they can win it. That is a chip that I know is going to fuel Draymond. That is a boulder. Los Angeles didn't want me, and I got the entire sporting world doubting me. That's more motivation for LeBron James. And guess what? Steph Curry, I have been doubted since I have come into the league. Everybody keeps saying I couldn't do it on my own. I did it on my own. I'm too old. I'm washed. That's my last title. You guys are giving them the proverbial fuel to light their fire. AD can't stay healthy. Okay, bet. Like this is
okay.
Great players don't need a lot of slights to motivate them. I'm not a great player. But the worst thing that you can do is tell me that I cannot do something, because spite drives me. I crave it. And the moment that I know that you doubt me, you've already lost. Because I will die before I lose. I will die before I lose.
So Anthony Davis didn't feel spited when he got traded to Dallas?
Different circumstance, dog.
No, it isn't. They traded his ass. They're like, yeah, we don't want you anymore. We'll take Luka.
It wasn't that we don't want you. We got somebody better. We got somebody better.
That's the business.
We got somebody better.
And listen, and Anthony Davis went out there. He had a great 2 quarters and then injured himself for the rest of his Dallas and Washington tenure. And here's where we are.
But that's by design. AD wanted to play for Washington at the end of the year. They told he wanted to play. They told him no.
He hurt his hand, hurt his groin, hurt his knee, hurt his ankle, hurt his foot.
Did you just hear what the man just said?
He is the one that makes me not believe. I believe in everyone else. LeBron was awesome this past year.
All right. By the way, listen, I think we're all hoping that this happens so this conversation can continue because it's only typically ever. Guys, you guys are the best. We will do this again tomorrow. Thanks everyone for joining the post show. Yeah, we get fucking crazy. That's where I can curse. John Brown has encouraged me to curse.
Always curse.
Okay. Well, that was all the time for today. We will see you guys tomorrow night.